Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
We want to present about
My name is Wan Amir Solihin.
I am Irfan bin Jamil.
I am Muhammad Fidas bin Hadisari.
Now let's we look to the first question.
The term of euthanasia. Euthanasia came from a Greek word which means eu means God and thanatos means death. Where does the euthanasia is legal? There's only 4 countries in this world where they legalize euthanasia, which is Belgium, Norway, Sweden, and Albania, but under condition that the patient has a chronic pain or chronic illness and long-term sickness. Okay, types of euthanasia. There's only 2 types of euthanasia. The first one is voluntary. Voluntary is killing with the patient consent and permission. Second one is involuntary. Voluntary is occur when there is no consent of the patient or permission from the patient. The most important years for euthanasia was in 1870, where Samuel Williams suggested the use of morphine and analgesic medication for assisting quick and painless death. This proposal of using analgesic for intentionally ending people's life was a breakthrough in the history. Non-voluntary euthanasia was started in 1940 by the German physicians. They eliminate disease and disable Germans by using the closed gas chambers. The main purpose of the using the method is to get rid of handicapped children and people with mental health condition and psychiatric. By 1945, it was estimated 300,000 Germans had been killed by this euthanasia non-military. The Nazis also used the same method to kill the captured Russian gypsies and Jews. First law that against euthanasia is by the English jurisdiction in 13th centuries. They say that suicide or helping people killing themselves are considered as criminal acts. These things also are prohibited in the ascendancy of Christianity.
There are two answers for this question, which is religious perspective and Western perspective. Now let's we look into the Islamic perspective. According to the Yusuf al-Qaradawi, which is the head of the scholar, he say that the act of the mercy killing is Islamically forbidden. It is because it is contradict with the role of the physician, which must help the patient. But this is act of killing, and it is major sin, and that's why it is forbidden in Islam. Derived from Surah Al-Quran, chapter number 6, verse 151, which say that, come, I will recite what your Lord has prohibited to you. He commands that you not associate anything with him, and to parents good treatment, and do not kill your children out of poverty. We will provide for you and them, and do not approach immoralities, what is apparent of them and what is concealed, and do not kill the soul which Allah has forbidden except by right. So this verse means that the mercy killing is Islamically forbidden, except with the legal rights. Next, in Islamic perspective, Hanafi stated that no harm shall be inflicted or reciprocated in Islam. It means that the physician has no rightful to assist the patient to die. This derived from the Ayatul Quran, Surah An-Nisa, chapter number 4 and verse number 92. It says that, and never is it for a believer to kill a believer except by mistake. And whoever kills a believer by mistake, then the freeing of a believer slave and a compensation payment presented to the deceased family is required, unless they give up their right as charity. But if the disease was from a people at war with you and he was a believer, then only the freeing of a believing slave. And if he was from a people with whom you have a treaty, then a compensation payment presented to his family and the freeing of a believing slave. And whoever does not find one or cannot afford to buy one, then instead a fast for 2 months consecutively, seeking acceptance of repentance of Allah. And Allah is ever knowing and wise. What can we learn about this verse is Islam never allow his believer to be killed, even for mercy killing, except for mistake. Now let's look into the Western opinion. Firstly, the Christian believe that the mercy killing are not permissible because they believe that the life is given by the God and that humans are in the God's hands. This can be seen in the Bible, Rome 13, which say that they also think that human beings are valuable because they are made in God's image. So by proposing mercy killing to an individual is to judge that the current life of the person is not worthwhile and valuable. However, in the past few years, the people have been debating about this issue. For example, in France, there was a survey for the doctors' attitude about this problem, and most of the doctors say that the mercy killing must be legalized. It is because as a doctor, they must respect the wish of the patient, including the death wish.
There is 4 societies in the world that address the issue of euthanasia. The first one, Voluntary Euthanasia Society. The second one is the National Society for the Legalization of Euthanasia. The third one, the World Federation Right to Die. And the last one, Hemlock Society by Derek Humphrey, whereby there is over 60,000 people register themselves to prove that they are right to die. In 1999, the cases of Dr. Jack Kevork has taken the world eye because he performed euthanasia on a patient, a 52-year-old patient called Thomas York, whereby he injected a little injection to the patient's body. He was sent to imprisonment for 8 years, starting from 1999 to 2007. And the last one, he also has been submitted for killing over 130 of his patients because of euthanasia. Now, we're gonna look to the 3 major cases surrounding euthanasia. The first one, in South America, there is a 14-year-old girl diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when she was a baby. So, she wrote a special letter to the president himself to allow her to die. The second one, in California, there is a 20-year-old woman who suffers with brain cancer in the final stage. She wanted to die, so she read the law. There is a law about dignity law, whereby a person is allowed to die with terminally ill through little drug. The last one is in Canada. There's a 50-year-old couple who want to die together because of her husband's disease. The wife want to die because she believes that she will not able to live without her husband. But there is a plot twist whereby the husband survived the sickness Meanwhile, the wife died.
Peace on planet Earth allows to embrace death under medical surveillance, and it is Switzerland.
If I go through with it, I die, as I must at some point. If I don't go through with it, my choice is essentially to suffer and to inflict suffering on my family. And then die. Possibly in a way that is considerably more stressful and painful than this way.
She's now left with all these very, very significant conditions. She had osteoporosis with 50% bone loss. That she said, "I'm too broken, you can't fix me anymore." She felt her only escape was to die.
As a conclusion, mercy killing is forbidden in any perspective.
That's right, bro. Killing is still killing, whether is it Islamic or not.
Like the Quran said, Kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut. Every soul will taste death. It means that we human has no power to take the God power.
Aywa, that's right.
Itulah dia cakap kebangkit.
Yeah.